Beep, 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 beep. I was trying to do a brass section, and then
That's not a brass section at all.
Seven Nation Army.
Yep, that's not a brass section at all.
That's evolution. That's how far our content has come.
Evolution. Okay. All right then.
Progression.
I don't.
Other words that indicate moving forward.
No, I don't think so. Fuck's sake.
Look, man, I'm doing my best here.
Fucking 25-hour stream fucked you a little bit, eh?
Mate, really did. Look, I'll tell you what, let's crack the intro because we got a lot to talk about. Well, we sort of. Welcome to NULLSCORE, a podcast where Hamish has a newfound appreciation for a decent night's sleep, and Jim is firmly reminded of why he hates crowded bars. My name's Hamish, and this is my co-host, Jack Sparrow. How does it feel to be the greatest content pirate the world has seen, next to train
Content
wrecks?
pirate? What?
Next to train wrecks.
What do I fucking... listen, what content do I steal?
That's a good question.
What the
You're
fuck?
not a particularly great content pirate. I really just wanted to rip on train wrecks there. Also, just like, it's difficult to find a Jack Sparrow meme that really works. So, you know, it's
I'm a
there
shit
anyway.
Jack Sparrow because I don't like rum.
Now, bit of an unorthodox podcast today. One, being recorded on a Sunday, mainly due to the fact that I was absolutely out of condition for podcast yesterday. I did a big 25-hour stream and I was completely ruined afterwards. And then today, we're both sort of in a little bit of a sorry state.
I mean, I didn't go out last night.
You didn't go out last night.
Just had stuff to do, that's all, earlier.
Yeah, we had a fair bit going on. We had some stuff to do. I've also got my dog here because my girlfriend is away in Brisbane, so I'm gonna have to make sure that she doesn't disconnect anything. I've just seen one of my monitors just went blank, so I think she's pulled out a power cord.
Oh, good.
But she's out from behind the desk now, so it's all right. Not critical. I've still got the script.
Fuck's sake.
But we want a couple of things to talk about today. Some new doc news.
Well,
we even though he's done a formal interview with PC Gamer, we still
really
don't
say
fucking know what happened to Doc. Doc apparently knows, but lawyers are involved. It leads me to believe that whatever it is, the reason for which Doc got banned must be dangerous. That knowledge must be dangerous, either to the Doc or to Twitch.
Well, I mean, it's hard to... You really got to pick apart what he said, and he didn't really say that much.
Which probably is the purpose. I mean, if a lawyer's told him to shut the fuck up...
Well, I mean,
he's a
exactly this,
smart
yeah.
person.
For legal counsel, I have to be careful here, but I can say, however, that I will not be returning to Twitch.
Yep. So, I mean, look, even if... I think most people would have worked out that he was never going to go back to Twitch anyway. Like, just as a business owner, and Doc is big business, being banned for 2 weeks without knowing the reason why, assumedly, is horrible. That would just irreparably damage your relationship with a company like Twitch. So it's not particularly a surprise that he's not returning to Twitch. Then again, I mean, I say that, but he did sign a full-on agreement. Like, when did you say? Back in May or March?
I think it was March. He posted that video saying that he's on Twitch now and he'll be staying on Twitch, blah, blah, blah. It was a big thing. They made a big show of it. Probably because people were speculating that he was going to go to Mixer or somewhere else. Like, because Shroud and Ninja had signed elsewhere, and then the other streamers, like, I mean, those are the main two big ones. You've mentioned others before, but I mean, like, I don't really care because I don't know who the fuck they are. But it was going around that the Doc might go elsewhere if he gets offered more money. And I think Twitch I feel like Twitch would have approached him and said, look, can we just give you some money and you won't go anywhere? Just lost two massive sources of revenue. They probably want to keep as many as they can.
Well, that's the thing. That's the effect Ninja had on the space. Was now streamers will have a solid income for that sort of thing. Still not the same sort of thing afforded to YouTubers, funnily enough. But streamers definitely.
So this part of his this is what makes me think that he might not have actually done anything wrong. When you read the full interview, you have to scroll a little ways down.
For people that don't know, Dr. Disrespect, one of the biggest streamers on Twitch, has done an interview with PC Gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is the first we've heard in 2 weeks after he was permanently banned from Twitch. There was no information out. People's subs were refunded. Emotes were taken off. Sponsorships were dropped and then undropped. It was wild. And the craziest thing is nobody knows anything. So you can check out previous podcasts for more information about that. But now he's done an interview with PC, and you've got this one in front of you.
I'm going to post a link to the full interview in the general discussion for NULLSCORE. But it's an interesting question they ask him here, which is, so are you able to confirm that legal action is taking place? I'm guessing they meant against him, and then they followed it with, you are taking legal action against Twitch. And his answer to them is, we are considering taking legal action. So that sounds like maybe he doesn't actually know exactly what happened, why he got banned. And so I'm going to post it in podcast links, not general discussion.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes me wonder, surely he wouldn't be taking legal action if he did know and he knew that he was in the wrong. So he either knows and it's a bullshit reason, or he doesn't know and they've broken the contract that they had with him. So he is taking legal action, or he's looking at how he can go about it.
Yeah, both. If he's looking at taking legal action, it could just be that there's a lot going on.
So the follow-up question for him immediately after that one is, when do you think you might, if ever, have a definitive answer as to the reason why you were banned? And his response is, honestly, we just don't know. Wow. I find that really hard to believe. Why wouldn't they just tell? Usually don't they send you an email saying, hi, you were banned because, and then they give even if they give a vague reason, like terms of service violations or something like that, they tell you, don't they? They give you something.
Even if they didn't ordinarily for streamers, I'd expect them to do that for bigger streamers.
For the doc? Yeah, arguably they're number one, or at least in their top 5.
Easily one of the biggest faces of Twitch. He's been streamer of the year once or twice, right?
Twice, I think.
Yeah.
So, why wouldn't you tell him? Unless, I don't know, man. This is legal side of shit, that's you.
Look, the fact that there's complete non-disclosure from both sides leads me to believe that there must be some threat legally should that information come out. And more often than not, if that's being followed by a company as large as Twitch, that legal threat is ordinarily accompanied by a huge financial burden. So you have to remember that the only thing that motivates companies is money. Yeah? When your reputation takes a hit, they only give a shit when it affects the bottom line, because that's what it is at the end of the day. Money pays people wages, money makes the company money, and then, people get paid, yada, yada, yada. So money is really the only basis on which a company for profit operates. Legal threats are only particularly viable when they have a financial burden attached to them. Yeah, or a potential financial punishment. So there must be an incredible issue with disclosing that financially for Twitch or for Doc. And I'm thinking it's probably a hit to reputation that then follows on.
Something that's bad for both of them if it gets out. So they've just trying to keep it quiet.
Well, that, or you have to remember that sometimes, especially with the American legal system, it's kind of there's weird stuff around damages where it's if Doc had done something that then gets out from Twitch's perspective, it's not so much a matter of defamation, where if you damage a reputation, then truth is a defense to it, right? It's not like Doc can be there's a bunch of people at the top end. Sorry, dog's causing issues. That will, that have got issues with sexual misconduct, right? We've already seen heaps of that lately. But it's probably something to do with maybe misconduct on Doc's behalf or some weird contractual breach. And then if other partners know about this, or if the general public knows about that, then that's going to cause financial issues for Twitch. Like, I mean, I hate to repeat myself, but money is what motivates something like this.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen huge bans before with Twitch, and you have to remember that a lot of that was leaked very, very quickly. In certain circumstances, like the ones that we've got now, this level of non-disclosure, like, it's being kept from a lot of people in the Twitch pipeline. Like, only
I mean, there's really people saying like, "Oh, I know the reason why," but like, that doesn't. I don't honestly. I don't believe them at this point. I don't believe them because it would have been leaked. They would have told someone they know, and then it would have got out. It's been 2 weeks, and people like the day after or 2 days after were saying, "Oh, I know the reason why," but I can't say. At this point, I don't think they do.
No. Give me 5 seconds. I think my headphones are about to run out of battery.
If only you had bought a fucking wired set that was actually good and doesn't bleed audio out the fucking ear cups.
Listen, man, I have been trying my best to find a decent pair of headphones that were also wireless. These are the ones that came up.
No.
And you know what? I honestly don't mind them. There you go. I've swapped over the battery.
Don't SteelSeries have a wireless set that's actually good, but it's horribly fucking expensive? I think it's these ones.
The Arctis Pros.
Arctis Pros are $600. What? That can't be right.
Yeah. The set that I'm running sits in about the $500-600 bracket, but I ended up getting them for much less because my brother works for a JB Hi-Fi.
And they still bleed, and they still have a bad mic.
Look, I mean, I'm not using the mic, so I kind of just don't care.
That doesn't really matter to you.
Look, man, I'm all smiles when it comes to SteelSeries. All right,
You should have got the Siberia 800.
Well, I tell you what happened, right? I ended up getting tagged in a Twitter post from Christina, a mutual friend. I don't know if she listens to the podcast, but I'll send her a message.
Maybe not anymore. I don't know.
It sounds like a lot of people. Now, so she tagged me in a post because the SteelSeries ANZ account said, "Hey, I've created a separate account. I'm being run by here. I'm now the marketing rep for SteelSeries in ANZ. If you're a streamer and you're using SteelSeries gear, chuck me a line because we'll see what we can do." And Christina replied to that post and tagged me and said, "Hey, I heard that Viserys got himself a new pair of SteelSeries headphones." And I was like, "Yeah, I did." So I've ended up commenting. I was like, "Yep, it's very good. I like the fact that I can connect my PC and my phone to my headphones simultaneously because I can receive incoming notifications from my phone, but not muddy the audio that goes to stream." So that way, if I'm on call or if Red is out and about, getting food or there's an emergency or something like that, I can hear my phone. So it's been really, really good for me. And I put a post there and the guy responded. He was like, "Yep, great. Awesome. Thanks, man. We'll have to check out your stream sometime." I was like, yeah, cool. Whatever. Because I was like, great. Another suit is like, "Oh, man, great engagement there, man. Gonna check out your stream. Make sure you follow and share the post." And I'm like, eh. Anyway, this dude was just like, "Yeah, cool. No worries. I'll just, I'll check out your stream sometime." I was like, whatever. Great. Started the 25-hour stream, right? Which I'll go into more detail a little bit later because the whole thing was wild. The guy shows up. The fucking ANZ rep shows up in chat and he's like, "Hey, man, got my coffee. I said I'd show up. Here I am." And I was like, what the hell? Dude's actually turned up. And he was like such a cool lad. And we were having a chat about old fashions. You ever had an old fashioned before?
No.
It's like a Scotch whiskey cocktail with orange peel, bitters, and sugar.
Oh, no.
It's really, really nice. It's not like super, super sweet. Like you only do like a little amount, but it tastes really good. And yeah, we had a good chat about those, and he like linked a recipe and stuff. It was like we were just having a good vibe in chat. And then he retweeted my stream announcement from the Steel Series ANZ account, and I was like, holy shit, what a cool dude. So it's the first time I've ever had a major gaming brand. I mean, it's the ANZ variant of Steel Series.
Yeah.
Involved with my stuff. I was like, it's pretty cool.
I'm not sure what any of that has to do with you choosing that headset, though.
Fair bit. So I think had I not chosen the headset, he never would have got involved. So I mean, you can say it's $600 for a retweet, but as far as I'm concerned, it's the first positive interaction I've ever had with a brand. I mean, I've had interactions with other like small esports teams and communities, which have just been terrible. But I mean, yeah, a lot of them just disorganized and just piloted by idiots.
Ones that I've spoken to as well, very, very similar.
Yeah. And
they're usually run by someone who wants to create a community under like, their whole thing is like, we prop each other up, but it's not. It's them trying to get a community to follow them and prop their own stream up.
Prop them up.
You know, that's kind of what you expect.
It's like a strange offshoot of MLM. Yeah, no, that was the first really like properly positive interaction I've had with a brand. I mean, have I spent several $100s on their products? Yes. But the guy, like, I'm very, very surprised that bloke followed up.
Yeah.
And followed through. I'm just genuinely impressed by that, because I think it's such little stuff like that. Like, even if he's got just a fucking Word document, yeah, and he just writes down the names of all these streamers and follows them, and then when they come up,
Steel Series need that. Like they've needed that for a while, especially after the whole Bully Hunters thing. What was the next one they did? They did another really fucking stupid PR thing.
Did Steel Series do the Bully Hunters thing?
Steel Series was, yep, they did.
Oh no.
They did another really dumb one not too long after, and then they kind of went away for a while. But for me, man, I've used 2 of their mice. I owned one. That mouse was so good that it became the mouse that I gave to my dad to use on his laptop in the shed.
Yeah,
that's how much I liked that fucking mouse. Compared to other stuff that's available for the same price range, just what a fucking joke. The headsets, the mics are terrible. Somehow worse than like other headsets in the same range, and the ear cups on the Arctis series all bleed badly into their mic. So if something's too loud, I used to play PUBG with a guy all the time. Actually, Crazy, the same thing. Crazy's old headset was an Arctis, and it used to bleed all the time into his mic. If he had it up too loud enough that he could hear footsteps, all the gunshots were bleeding into the mic.
God damn.
I'm sure that for some people they're very comfortable and perfectly usable, as long as they don't have to play PUBG or fucking Tarkov, I guess. But it's just, and don't have to use the mic that's built into it. But for the price that they cost, like, they're expensive headsets. To me, I think they're expensive headsets. Like, how is it comfortable? Is the sound quality good?
Yeah, look, sound quality is good. As far as comfortable goes, it's different adjusting from a wired headset to a wireless headset. The main reason for that is just there's a battery in a wireless headset, so it's significantly
they're a little bit heavier.
Yeah. But as far as comfort goes, I had them on for 25 hours for the stream. I took them off, like I'd occasionally, kind of like just pull them off my ears to rub my ears at like the 11, 12 hour mark.
Yeah.
But honestly, if they're on there for 25 hours and I'm not, in a situation
ready to rip them
off
and throw them across the room,
that's pretty fucking good. Like, that's as far as the stress test goes, I'll give them that. Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
See, I've only sat a pair on my head once, and I was like, these don't seem like any better than what I've been wearing. To me, at least. Like, I guess it depends on your fucking head size, shape, and your ear size and shape as well. Like, it's going to be different for everyone.
It's going to be different for everybody. Yeah. But I mean,
look,
at least for my big ass head, I haven't even adjusted the headband at all. I've got it maxed out. Like, I got a big fucking head, and Yeah, they've been great.
I think also for like I feel like wireless headsets, they kind of, at least for the most part, they're more they're one of two kinds of people. People who can afford to replace them every year or 2 years, or people who don't play very fucking often. Like they're more casual users, because the batteries don't last forever. They start to lose their fucking shit after. If you're going to be using those things every fucking day, like a year in, you're going to start to notice that the battery doesn't hold its charge very well anymore.
Yeah, I'm interested to see whether they've got like decent support as in buying replacement batteries.
You probably have to buy one off eBay and replace it yourself.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I'm not, yeah, I mean, I look at it and I'm not as concerned. I mean, obviously, like in a year's time, that's going to be an issue. But one of the things that's interesting about this is it comes with 2 batteries standard.
Mm-hmm.
So what's quite interesting is I don't have to take the headphones off for them to charge.
Yeah.
I can just put the other battery in, and then literally what I did on stream, I just take the battery out, put the second in, throw the spare battery back in the charger. And, rinse and repeat. So for me, less battery life is just going to mean frequency of charging or frequency of swapping. Whether that then gets to a point where it reaches like critical mass, where it's not charging fast enough to keep up, then, maybe I'll have an issue. But with the 2 batteries, I think I'm going to get a fair bit more distance out of it. I don't think the degradation is going to hit me as quick. But I agree with you. I think one of the disadvantages of a wired headset is certainly going to be battery degradation. Then again, wireless. I had my rig headset. I forget who makes those.
Plantronics,
yeah. And the ear cups on those. I mean, you saw I was holding them together with fucking electrical tape.
They fall to bits.
What's going to fail first, your ear cups or your batteries? So.
Well, let's see, the headset that I bought, you can buy replacement ear cups for them pretty cheaply, and you can buy the original ones if you want. You can either get the silvery ones, or you can get black. You can get black leather ones, or you can go on the internet. You can buy better shit. Yeah, and I'm never going to have a battery fail. There are sets that people have had this set of headphones since the 80s. And some people still have the same pair. They've just had them fucking forever, and they still use them. Just replace the ear cups like whenever the fuck they start to wear out. But they're not leather. Like these are the velour ones, so they probably won't die that quickly.
It's also a matter of just taking care of your gear. Like I think if you're, God forbid you're like a bloody, I don't know, COD pro streamer and you're throwing your headphones around every second day, then they're going to bust
the piece
up.
that'll break on these is like a little plastic thing that holds the headband to, the metal piece that, I don't know what the fuck, like the big bracket that the...
Yeah.
But you can buy a pair of those for like $20. They come in a pair, and you just replace the little plastic piece. And they're not hard to get. You can go to Store DJ, you can buy them on eBay, you can buy those wherever.
Store DJ, man. They're so fucking good.
But I don't think you can buy those clips. Like no other headset I've owned that a piece is broken on, you've been able to just buy the piece. Even Logitech, man, with their fucking receivers, they're like, oh yeah, we'll sell you a receiver, that'll be $90. Like, what do you fucking mean?
What do you mean,
a fucking
$90?
USB dongle.
Yeah, why? It's proprietary Logitech technology.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as getting a couple of replacement parts. What do you mean? It's a fucking USB to USB-C. Like, just can you sort it out, please?
I'm talking the old ones. I'm talking the old, like, the big long stick ones, or even the little tiny ones. Doesn't matter. They were just always expensive. I think they're probably a little bit cheaper now, probably like $50-$60 or something. Yeah. I haven't looked for ages because I stopped using Logitech's wireless shit because
it was just garbage.
No, it's good, but if something breaks on it, it's such a pain in the ass to get spares, and they're expensive.
Yeah,
I'd rather just wired shit, because if a USB cable breaks, I can fix that myself. If an audio cable breaks, I can fix that myself. On this particular headset, I did a bit of research before I bought it, and I was like, yep, okay, all the parts are readily available. They have been for fucking 20 plus years. They're still available now. There's all sorts of aftermarket ear cups. If I want something different, I'm going to buy them. And they sound fucking good as well. They sound better than any other headset I've used on my my computer or whatever.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like.
And honestly, man, a wire doesn't matter that much. Once you, if you get used to it, it's fine.
I think if you get used to it, it's fine. I was having issues with it because I'm like, for what you have to remember, my use case is very unique as well, right? Like I have a decent paying job. Like I am above the average income of the average Australian.
Mm-hmm.
I expend a heap of my time in front of my computer. Like this is how I spend. I would probably wager to say close to 40 to 50 hours a week in front of my PC.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe not that much. 12 hours streaming a week plus maybe 2 hours on other night. So probably closer to 20, 30 maybe. And I stream, which means, having decent equipment is, usually required for that sort of thing. And I'm quite animated, so I'll spin around in my chair or throw my hands up and yada yada, and sometimes the wire can get in the way. But all in all, yeah, I think if battery technology improves a fair bit more from where it is now, I honestly think it's going to get to the point where wireless headsets specifically aren't going to be a huge issue.
There was a guy at work who was saying a very, very similar thing. That battery technology better battery technologies exist right now. What's holding it back, I think he said, was suppliers. There's certain kinds of batteries that are popular at the moment. There's a massive amount of the material that is all ready to go and it needs to move. And if they switch to the new kinds of batteries now, all that's going to be worthless. They're not going to be able to sell it. So they're kind of holding it back so that they can sell what they have, and then once they're no longer going to bankrupt themselves switching, then maybe we'll start getting access to better batteries. But he's shown me because this is the guy at work who I do a lot of, like, he helps me with shit that I can't figure out. He sort of helps me figure out what the fuck to do. And he's shown me all these fucking articles because I don't know, man, he's like an electrician's nerd, I suppose. Yeah. And there's so many articles in some of these magazines that he has subscriptions to where, like, all this shit is new technologies that are ready to go. They're cheap to make, cheap to produce, easy to implement. And the only reason they're not is, like, for the same reason that,
money.
Yeah, it's just money. The same reason that electric cars have just been fucking held back forever because they make too much money off like petrol. They don't want it to get out there just yet.
Yeah. And that's the thing I think a lot of people forget is that that's how companies make the most, if not all of their decisions, is it usually circles back to money. And it's not a matter of greed. I mean, in the vast majority of circumstances, it very well might be greed. But more often than not, it's also motivated by this idea that when it comes down to it, like when push comes to shove, it's usually about like jobs, employment, and maintaining the company. Like money will ordinarily translate to security and the ability to create more money. So are there companies that only work for, profit margins? Yes. Are there companies that are quote unquote greedy? Yes. But when you think about something like Ford closing all of its factories in Victoria, that's 500-600 people that lost their jobs. That's, easily millions and millions of dollars that are taken from families. So, I mean, battery companies, I think, is an excellent example because batteries are probably operated or automatically built on assembly lines. And usually you tend to see unskilled labor in those sorts of environments.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not too mad about that sort of thing. I mean, battery technology evolving would be absolutely wicked. Like some of the big things that hold back electric cars are just weight.
Mm-hmm.
Like the weight of batteries. Okay, hang on, my dog wants to go out. Give me. Ollie. Red goes away for like 1 week, and you are the neediest puppo I've ever seen. Oh, yeah.
I think the big cost here isn't the people though. It's at least from what I can gather, it would be the materials. So when you think about it, a lot of the materials used to make those batteries, they can't just decide, well, we don't need these anymore, we're going to throw them away. They would have to pay to have them disposed of properly, and the cost to think about the millions of tons of fucking materials that they have to try and get rid of, and it's all considered dangerous goods.
That's not even like...
They can't just chuck it in the wheelie bin and fucking wait till Tuesday morning, you know? You gotta fucking...
That's not even just a loss of profits. That's like legitimately...
That's a cost.
An expense to get rid of
cost.
Them. Yeah. So there you go. So we went from Steel Series to battery technology. So
they then have to, retool their entire production line. There's probably different processes that they need people to learn. Like they'd have to, really, the only way for them to do it would be to build new factories, like new entire plants to run all this shit, and then slowly decommission the old ones as they ramp up production of the new shit.
Yeah.
And then what do you do then? You can't just move people from one to the other. Those people have to keep working until that plant's done. And then do you either make them redundant and pay them out? There's more cost there. Or do you try and keep them in a job and have to train them in the new shit? Like it doesn't matter how you do it. It's going to cost them a fuckload of money. I'm probably not ready to take on a cost like that where they're not making enough money in the meantime.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think companies like fucking Energizer or whatever are, hurting for cash. But still, it's going to be very fucking slow. And it's just frustrating seeing like all that shit, all this technology that exists, and you can't buy it, you can't access it because big companies are like, well, we're not ready to change yet. But fuck, motherfucker, I am. I don't want to have to charge my phone like twice a day. Shit.
Yeah.
Just
give me the turbo.
I want
super
good wireless
battery.
headsets, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. I want to be happy about wireless headsets.
It's halftime, mate.
Halftime. Start us off.
Oh, okay. Do you want a cup of coffee that'll keep you alive while you stream 25 hours for some reason?
Oh, Jesus. Yes, please. Do you want a cup of coffee that will let you escape from bars at lightning speed?
Oh, I could have used that. Do you want a cup of coffee that'll keep you calm while you deal with stalkers?
I bet Swedenita wants one of those. Do you want a cup of coffee that will help you not have your copyright-free music claimed by the YouTube algorithm? We're going to get into that in a second.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. I want to know what the fuck happened there.
Well, Killer Coffee won't do that, but it's a damn good cup of coffee. Actually, it might do a couple of those things. It might keep you awake while you stream for 25 hours. I don't know. I did it without caffeine.
Too. Oh, look at you. You fucking hero.
No, I thought it was a strategic decision because of the down slope on the back end. Like when you're alive for 25 hours, whatever you have will wear off.
When you're alive, you realize you just said when you're alive for 25 hours.
When you're alive, yeah. Dude, when you're awake for 25 hours, whatever the hell that you're eating, doing, drinking, it will wear off.
Yeah.
Like products are not designed to keep an awake human functioning for that long. So let's talk about 25-hour stream real quick. So I've now sort of started this tradition where I stream for X amount of hours that corresponds with my age around my birthday. So for my 24th birthday, I did a 24-hour stream. For my 25th birthday, I did a 25-hour stream. Naturally, if I'm still in this game when I'm 26, it'll be a 26-hour stream and so on and so forth. Naturally, the joke becomes, oh, well, your 40th birthday is going to be radical then.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I've put in the fucking script here. How many years can you really keep this up?
Well, I think streaming is going to give out before my age gets ridiculous.
Yeah, probably.
That's a scary thing to say, but I think if I'm doing a 33-hour stream, I'm pretty happy with that. If I'm still in the Twitch game and I'm doing a 33-hour stream, fucking cool, man. Whatever. But I can tell you hands down, right, that sleep deprivation is the fucking worst. It is horrible. And like, I've been incredibly hungover before. I've been very sick before. But I can tell you that sleep deprivation is so fucking terrible because one, you can't do anything. You can't focus, right? Not only that, you don't want to focus. You just want to do something, anything, right? Other than what you're doing right now. And that applies to everything, which is the worst part because you don't want to do anything, right? And then the last thing is that you know it's preventable. You can just go to sleep, but then it completely fucks over your sleep schedule. And I'm so glad that I did it on Friday into Saturday because Saturday was just a massive mess. I couldn't do anything.
Yep.
It's you can't focus, you can't do anything. It's horrible. It's really, really horrible.
Oh, yeah, it's fucked. Did I tell you about the time I stayed awake for 47 hours?
47?
I was going for 48, but I just couldn't, man. Couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing as well, is it erodes your motivation. Like,
well,
in a
not
really
just that.
severe
For
way.
me, at least, I was having like, I suppose, I don't know whether the right word, but auditory and visual hallucinations. I was seeing and hearing things that weren't there. I was like, well, this can only go downhill from here even further. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I have to fucking go to bed.
Yeah. I was talking to my dad about it, and he was saying that you can die from sleep deprivation.
Yeah, you can.
And it'll happen somewhere between lack of water and lack of food. So a lack of sleep will kill you faster than a lack of food will.
Jesus.
Which is pretty insane to think about. But the stream itself, I think, was really good. Obviously the last 6 hours were hell. Just trying to entertain people while all you want to do is go to sleep and not be streaming is difficult. Part of the appeal, I think, for people watching that stream is watching the person suffer. A little bit of shade and fraud, so you're kind of entertaining without trying to. But it was really, really good. We had Ponageddon, a mutual viewer. I don't know if you are like mates with him in real life.
No. I don't know. I've never met him in real life, but maybe he
dropped into my stream early on, dropped 30 gifted subs.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, with the current rate of the Australian dollar, that's incredible. That's really, really huge.
It's fucking nutty.
We had a lot of other people coming in and donating money to reach goals. We got a lot of really cool stuff. Lots of cool clips came out of it. But I think that it's definitely going to be a once a year thing. They're so horribly painful. Like the setup for a 24-hour stream, for me to do it properly, like it takes about a week solid of me organizing shit and getting things squared away with time off work, food, water, games, scheduling, all that sort of stuff. And then to actually do the stream knocks out about 3 days, because you've got the first day where you would theoretically do the stream, your second day where you're just unusable, and then the third day, which is to get everything back together to get back to real life. Like if you need to do washing, cleaning, cooking, whatever, that's going to happen the third day.
See, for me, I think it would be 3 days, but I feel like the day before I would spend making sure everything is ready to go for before and after this fucking horrible thing that I'm about to put myself through. So after I sleep for fucking however long that I manage to stay asleep for, as soon as I get up, shower, get dressed, grab a coffee, start the fucking stream. Go for 24 hours or whatever. Make sure you remember to do all your fucking things, set timers if you have to. And then at the end of it, pretty much I want everything to be ready so that I can just go straight to sleep and not have to worry about my life falling apart. And then when I wake up again, resume everyday fucking life, I guess.
Yeah, that was the plan for me. I started stream 8 o'clock on Friday. I was awake at about 6:30 because I had to drive Red to the airport and make breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. I finished stream. After I finished stream, I had a shower because my hair was full of colored wax, and I was just like sweaty mess. So I had a shower, got rid of all of that. Oh, that's the other thing about sleep deprivation that I didn't mention. You're physically weak.
Yes.
Because the lack of sleep's horrible. So you feel like just you don't want to lift shit. You don't want to be active. you can't move quickly. Like you're weak as a human. So it was really, really tricky to get around to do stuff. Like just having a shower and feeding the dog was kind of a struggle. And then I ended up sleeping for like 2 hours, which I can tell you firmly did not fucking help.
No,
I just woke up with a massive headache, and that kept going until about 7 p.m.
Did you find that when you went to sleep, you woke up feeling as if you were dehydrated? Did you wake up in a sweat pile?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's and then I ended up putting the dog to bed at 7. She was super confused. Usually goes to bed at 9. She was like, "What the fuck? Why am I going in?" Yeah. I went to bed at 7, slept for like 14 hours, woke up, and I was like, "Holy crap! I feel like a new man." Like that's the crazy thing. It's like when you're sick, right? You remember how cool it is to be able to breathe through your nose. Like that's one of the things. Like sleep deprivation. Like when you wake up, you feel like Superman. You're like, oh man, I can jump. Like when you're sleep deprived, you can't. Like you just think about it. Just jumping on your feet, just getting a couple of inches off the floor. You can't do that when you're sleep deprived.
You can try to jump, but the landing might be a bit rough.
That's it. The landing might be rough. Your brain's just like, why? Why
do you want to do this? Like,
you are literally
just lay down right here and sleep.
Power.
It's fine.
Yeah,
just sleep right here.
So it's one of the coolest things I think, as far as like if you want self-improvement, don't sleep for 25 hours and then get a good night's sleep, and you'll feel a fucking world of difference. You'll be like, mate, I'm so good. I'm taking care of myself so well.
Staying awake for 25 hours. We'll just ignore that part.
Yeah, well, it's like hitting yourself. It's like hitting yourself in the head with a hammer, man. The best part about it is when you stop. Like, it's one of those sorts of things. So, I mean, I know other people can do 24-hour streams. I know Harris Heller's a big fan. I'm going to segue to Harris Heller, but I couldn't do it all the time.
No, well, you're not supposed to do it all the time.
Yeah, you're not live.
The other thing is Harris Heller doesn't work a fucking regular full-time job like you, so he doesn't have those stresses of clients pleading not guilty when you've agreed to plead guilty.
That happened again on Tuesday. I had that on Tuesday. No. It wasn't even my client. It was one of my colleagues, and they said, "Hey, can you do this sentence for me?" And I was like, "Sure." And they got up and they go, "How do you want to plead?" She goes, "Not guilty." And I just looked at the magistrate and I was like, "Can we adjourn it for a week to get written instructions?" Which translates to, in plain English, can we delay this matter for a week and force this person to come back to court so I can get them to write down exactly what they want me to do so they can't back out of it? Like, that's what it translates to, roughly.
Yeah.
And so she was like, "Yep, cool, great, fine." But yeah, it's pretty ridiculous how often that happens. Like, it doesn't matter how you guard against it. Some people just get nervous and
they just do dumb shit. Yeah, well, people do silly things when they freak out sometimes.
I mean, it's high stress situations. You have to remember. But anyway,
tell me about Harris Heller.
Stream Beats. So Harris Heller very recently released 2 new Stream Beats playlists. If you don't know Stream Beats is a playlist of music, a group of music. You can get it for download, or you can get it on Spotify, SoundCloud, all that sort of business. And it is completely copyright and royalty free. Copyright free. What that means is that you can use it in YouTube videos or streams or anything like that, and you won't get copyright claimed by YouTube's system. Ordinarily. So very recently, Harris released 2 playlists. One is keep in mind the original Stream Beats playlist was a lo-fi playlist, and that's since been renamed to Stream Beats Lo-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
He's since now released a Stream Beats Synthwave and a Stream Beats EDM.
Mm-hmm.
I've not listened to Stream Beats EDM. I have listened to Stream Beats Synthwave on stream, and I can tell you it's actually pretty good. There's a couple in there that are a bit shit, but there's a couple that were quite good. Avarice is one on that, in that list that I really liked. Now, 6 tracks, and I can't remember if it's from the EDM playlist or Synthwave, or maybe both, had a beat from a beat pack that was used by the producer, like a drum beat, that has not apparently been cleared with YouTube's copyright system. So all that YouTube knows was that somebody used that beat beforehand, and it's a first come, first served thing for YouTube Content ID, which realistically makes fucking sense, right? That's the way that it should be. If you upload music first, then ordinarily you would be the rights holder to said music. Yeah. I can envision only a couple of incredibly odd and very rare scenarios where somebody would upload music before the original creator. Yeah. The issue for that is that people that have used those beats are having them claimed.
Yeah.
So what he's done is he's temporarily taken 6 tracks out of the playlists. They'll be re-added once he squares it away with YouTube. But at the moment, we're having issues where people's videos are being claimed by a playlist that is supposed to be royalty-free. So it's getting caught automatically. So it's not really Harris's fault. It's not like he's going back on his
He's
word.
not going through and going, I've tricked you.
Yeah. Fucking gotcha, kiddos. No, he's got to clear it with YouTube as well. I mean, theoretically, I would probably consider that a bit of a fuck up, but I mean, it's easily fixed. So
it is a fuck up, but what he's trying to do is such a huge, like an important thing, like a hugely important thing that I probably wouldn't give him shit about it. Like,
no, I will forever cut Harris Heller a good chunk of slack. Like, he's probably going to have to join the bad side of the Smash community for me to really sort of flip the opinion. Because he's just given out so many free assets. I mean, has he benefited as a result through publicity?
Yeah, of
Absolutely.
course.
but they're just helpful resources for streamers. Like how to set up... He just did a video, OBS Studio for Beginners, which is awesome because now I'm going to be able to forward that to other people. I use OBS Studio.
Okay, but Epos Vox did one of those fucking ages ago.
Yeah, but...
And his is better. And he updates it frequently.
He does update it frequently. Look, I think if you watch Epos Vox's videos, he's very, very good. But I don't think Epos Vox has the same reach that Harris does.
He doesn't have the same personality, okay? You go and watch Epos and his voice is a little bit weird and he's a bit awkward and he's clearly nerdy as fuck.
Harris, and he looks like a scared badger.
Yeah, like but I mean, I don't give a fuck. I'll go and watch him and be like, and I'm paying attention to what he's telling me. That's where my focus is.
Knowledge.
But I think for a lot of average people, that if they're faced with a picture of Epos Vox and his background, which is always his messy as fuck room, just equipment everywhere and a CRT monitor like sitting behind him, and then they look at Harris Heller and everything looks so nice and pretty and fucking his hair's sticking up like it's all like he's clearly putting a lot of effort into the way everything looks.
He knows how to use a hairdryer.
Epos is more focused on the equipment and getting things to work right. Harris, while he does do some of those things, he also is more focused on appearance, I think.
Yeah.
More than Epos is.
Harris is excellent with cameras. I know he's got Lemonade, who does more of his really techie computer stuff. Although, to be fair, he did build a hard-piped water-cooled rig very recently, so I got to give him props.
Did he build it himself, or did he build it with help from someone else?
I'm pretty sure he built it himself. Like it took him like 3-4 days, but I'm almost certain that he did it himself because
it's the kind of thing that I would expect him to have done with Jay after their whole thing.
Maybe if their relationship, but he talks about like hard piping and how to bend pipes and tips for anyone looking to build a rig like that, which I think you can get tips from better sources. But he certainly did it and he gave it a go. As far as I'm aware.
I almost said go watch Linus, but really, like, you have to watch... If you want to watch a Linus video on that, you have to watch the 3 or 4 attempts where he tried to do something really dumb and fucked it up and broke a bunch of pipes before they got it right.
Yeah, and Linus's videos are always like... Linus as well has a tendency to put videos where it's just like, we built a PC that costs $20,000, and you're like, cool, this is not applicable to... Have you ever seen, like, the compensator builds?
I've seen some where he's done ridiculous fucking Xeon builds, and then they start playing games in it. Like, okay, I mean, that's cool, but I wouldn't expect a fucking 32 core 64 thread PC to not be able to play games at fucking max settings with three Titans jammed into it.
Hey, we spent $25,000 on a PC. Will it run Tomb Raider in 4K?
Yeah.
The answer is almost always yeah.
Probably, man.
Like, I mean, sometimes they're like, I want to run it in 144 frames 4K, and I'm like, I mean, I guess if you want that to be the benchmark, then sure, I guess you can be disappointed.
Like, if you have a job that allows you to afford a rig like that, you probably don't have the time to enjoy a rig like that.
You probably don't fucking care.
Yeah.
You do, like, if you've got 4K 60 frames, I mean, who's playing Counter-Strike in 144 frames fucking 4K? Like,
not 4K, yeah. I think a lot of the better CS guys seem to play it on like smaller, like old CRT type. What is it? Was it like 1024 by 768 or something? Like they play it in old CRT fucking aspect, like, and they have the 4:3 aspect ratio and shit.
The graphics probably don't kill them too much, but yeah.
I don't know, man.
There was a time where Fortnite players were playing in what they called stretched res. They had to ban it from tournaments.
Why?
Because what it would do is it would effectively it was like a 4.3 aspect ratio, but then it got stretched to fill a 16:9 field.
Okay.
So, what would happen is everything was really stretched and wide, and it would make people on screen bigger at the cost of field of view.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like tactical, but like in inverted commas, because it made your screen look, well, fucked.
I don't know whether it would make it any easier to aim it. I mean, it must have done something beneficial if that many people were doing it. They had to ban it.
Yeah. Well, they banned it from tournaments, which honestly I think was probably just smart from a viewer's perspective. Like,
yeah, it would have looked like shit.
Yeah, because if you have to switch to the guy playing the game and it looks like, squished as hell, then yeah, that's going to be very difficult to watch. I mean,
poor commentators have to switch over and comment on this scuffed looking fucking footage. Just terrible.
Yeah. I mean, esports is already kind of difficult to follow. Like camera angles for a lot of esports stuff's very interesting. I know for things like League, it's quite simple to follow because like the camera is inherently the same camera the players use. They just direct it manually. But for things like Rainbow Six Siege, for instance, have you ever watched like pro gameplay for Siege?
No.
It's very difficult to follow because they have they'll show players through walls and stuff from the perspective of other players, which is fine. CSGO does that as well. But what they'll also do is like an overhead camera to show you the positioning of all the various operators. Mm-hmm. And because Siege has an element of verticality to it, where there's sometimes 2, 3, 4 floors to a map, it can get really confusing to look at from a top-down perspective. So props to the people that can make that work and be coherent. But yeah, if you had stretched res and you had to keep switching to player perspectives, it'd just be shit.
It'd be horrible.
It's disorientating.
I suppose that's why like a lot of those tournaments, they just say like everyone's using the same PC. You can bring your own mouse or keyboard, but everyone's using the same fucking monitor, the same PC. It's going to be 1080p at fucking 144 or 240 or whatever the fuck the monitors are. That's what you're using. 16:9. You don't get to change anything. Because they're going to be switching between, like, it's exactly what you're saying. I think it would make it so weird to like, this guy's playing at 1440 and 60 frames. This guy's for some reason playing at 4:3 aspect.
Yeah, and it also, well, for one, you want it to be professional. Like, you want it to be, I'm trying to think of the word. You want it to be equal across the board. One of the things that I saw that was really interesting is obviously you've seen like the debate. It's especially big in the Fortnite community where they talk about whether controller aim assist should exist and whether that's fair in pro play. Somebody asked Shroud, they were like, what do you think about controller aim assist in Fortnite? And he was like, okay, first of all, controllers and PC players should not be competing together in a professional tournament for money.
Yep.
If it was for like a charity stream or something like that, then sure. But the point with a professional tournament is to find the best. And to do that, you need to isolate the skill as the only variable. So you put everyone on the same equipment. It doesn't matter if you have to bridge the gap between controller and mouse. You can never know. Like there's no reason why you should have that in a professional competitive tournament when money's on the line.
I've seen this.
You should have everyone on the same equipment. And I was like
talking about that.
Yeah, and it was like, it's always something I sort of listen to and I go, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Why didn't I think of that?
Put it this way then.
It's one of those, well, that's the thing. It's just one of those common sense things. You're like, yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking the whole time.
Here's these two footy teams going into a match. This team, they've got a couple of guys who are a little bit slower. Let's just give them a little bit of speed before the match so that they can keep up with the other guys in the other team.
Yeah. But the guys that get speed, they don't get to wear like spikes. They have to wear regular running shoes. And it's like just to take away the advantage. Like I don't know. I don't think that's how it works. I think it would just be better if we gave everyone spikes and no one had ice, Same thing. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I remember listening to it and going, well, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like that is the argument, but it's usually the controller guys that are complaining about it. Like they start by saying, PC guys aren't that great. I've beat heaps of PC guys, blah, blah, blah. And then the PC guys will say, well, turn aim assist off. And they're like, oh, all you do is complain about aim assist. Like, well, if you can't understand why that would be a complaint, then there's no hope for you.
Yeah, look, I have respect for people that can say I play on console and I ruin PC players all the time. But every time I have matched up with a console mate of mine and I'm on PC and we play something like COD, I'm usually in the top end of the leaderboard. And it's just... the reason why is because in close quarters, I have a significant advantage over console players. If
you can get behind them, they can't turn around fast enough. They can't 180 fast enough to turn on you.
No. Like running an SMG in COD with a PC setup, you're just so fucking quick. Like that's the thing. Like, some people say, oh, it's with sniping, they can adjust their aim really quickly and precisely. No. If you want to see the effect of a PC player, watch them in close quarters. Like, you can just turn so quickly, which you just don't have access to on a console.
No amount of aim assist makes you turn around faster.
No, that's it.
Should we do comments and then get the fuck out of here?
I think so. I think we managed to punch out a pretty interesting hour-long stream. I thought we'd run dry quite quickly, but we've done pretty well.
We got other stuff there that we didn't touch on, but doesn't
we didn't
really
even
matter.
talk about the Swedenita thing, which we can talk about next week.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's still ongoing. So.
Well, that might develop by then. Either
I saw a tweet just before we started. I saw a tweet.
Might be dead.
No, I saw a tweet before we started. She's showed because he's banned, but he tried to post a message in her chat, and anyway, we'll talk about it next week. Yeah, it's still ongoing.
About it next week. Yep.
iHole Man on the last Cast. My brother sent me a screenshot of a Gumtree ad of the missing MH370 flight on sale for $3 billion.
Oh wow! Holy moly!
I don't know how I didn't see that comment until now. Like, Jesus. I don't know. I don't think I got an alert for it.
And then the other one's just first this time, and then Robin's got nice, and I went, oh shit, I got lazy. Oh, actually, you know what? I do have a comment of sorts about the NULLSCORE podcast. I need to find. It was from my girlfriend Red.
She's probably not liking something that I said.
No. It actually, funnily enough, had not a whole lot to do with you, which I suppose you can consider yourself lucky. But I'll show you what it is. I'm going to hold it up to the screen, and hopefully you guys can see this without my ring light completely destroying it. But all it is just a series of screenshots with my dog in the background in various positions sleeping.
That's it?
In the back of the frame from the podcast. Yeah.
That's all she took out of this? Look at the dog,
she just
though.
sent me like 6 screenshots of Ollie sleeping in different positions, and she's like, best podcast ever.
All right, well, that's the end of the podcast, guys. See ya.
That's it. We're done. Yep. every week we'll just film an hour of my dog sleeping.
Yeah, from my end, I'll just fucking force the cat onto the desk and make sure she doesn't leave.
Yeah.
Petcast.
All right. Petcast. Rightio. Well, if you want to catch more of the podcast, you can see it on YouTube at NULLSCORE. If you leave a comment, obviously we can read it in the next one. You can also catch Titan and I on Twitter at TITAN_5150 or at Viserys TV. We're also live on Twitch, twitch.tv/T1TAN5150 or twitch.tv/Viserys TV. Is there anything else you want to see before we jump out, my dude?
I'm so uncomfortable in a suit.
I
went to the bar twice for drinks. Experience. Yeah. Let's just get out of here.
Let's get out of next week.
I got nothing else to say.
Rightio. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.
What happened with this bar situation with you in the suit?
I got dragged out to a thing. I went out to a thing with Sinead, and it was
yeah.
It was fucking Gatsby themed. I was like, oh Christ, whatever.
Gatsby themed.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't have anything for this. And she's like, oh, we'll just get you a suit. I'm like, all right then. So we got like a suit, fucking pants and white shirt and a jacket or whatever.
What color suit did you get?
Just fucking black stuff, man. I don't care. I got black, just normal looking black shit. And
just whatever works.
Borrowed a tie off her dad because I was like, I'll buy one. She's like, no, I have one somewhere. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then she's like, here, I got you my dad's tie. I'm like, all right.
Oh, great. Now I can't.
Now I feel like I should have just bought one now. Yeah, I don't want to spill anything on it.
Yeah.
Fuck. That didn't. I don't know. That didn't really suck. It's just awkward, fucking late. Both times that I went to buy, I only went to the bar to fucking buy drinks twice, and both times, chicks approaching me. Have you washed your hair recently? Yeah, fucking. Have you washed your hair recently? I'm like, yeah, today.
What?
Ask me fucking questions. Yeah, I got hit on. I got hit on twice at the bar. Just like these really forced conversations with me that I was trying to like cut short, and they wouldn't stop talking to me.
I gotta go to the bars that you're going to.
Why? We're both already.
Sounds like an ego boost, my dude.
No, it was kind of just more like, why?
God damn.
Look, it only happens when I'm taken. It doesn't ever happen when I'm single in a bar.
Also true.